Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today for this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I'm speaking with an amazing woman named Gina. She is a blessed to be a wife, proud mother of two, and grandmother of four. She is a graduate of the Holmes Institute School of Consciousness Studies and the School of Spiritual Leadership, and a licensed minister by Centers for Spiritual Living. She is a spiritual director of CSL Greater Boston. As the founder of Believe in You Today, a certified life coach, she comes to us with her own trials and tribulations she has endured throughout the years. She is here to speak about her journey through food addiction, recovery, and learning to honor her challenges despite how difficult they are. Gina is a published author of 3 books and a motivational speaker with over 25 years of experience in speaking, coaching, training, and workshops for facilitation. Her passion is helping people realize their potential and live happy and fulfilled lives, and is available for private life or spiritual coaching, training, and workshops. Welcome, Gina. How are you?
Wonderful. It's great to be here with you. This a beautiful platform, beautiful message, so important.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you taking some time out of your day to hang out with us and share some of your journey and some of your inspiration, um, and all of the goodness that you're sharing now in your world, which I just love when I see people that are just blossoming into a passion that kind of stems from their own story. I just think it's so beautiful. So I would love to just kind of jump right in and just kind of ask, we're all full of so many stories and so many journeys. And I'm just curious, when you think back on your lifespan from beginning to where you are now, what would you say is the story that changed your entire life, that kind of like the pivot? And what did you learn from that story?
I don't know if there was a pivot in the sense that it was that different that all of a sudden, I think it gradually grew into where I am today. For me, when I look back, it all makes sense. But as I was taking the steps, okay, now this, okay, now that, some of the most amazing outcomes were from the worst things that happened to me. In my life, I've had a lot of stuff. And in the matter of a year, my mother, father, sister were stage 4 cancer. And in that 1 year's time, life fell apart and blew apart completely. And everything that was changed. And for me, that was a catalyst to seek and spiritually grow. And I would say that may have been one of the greatest. That and the other one would be being diagnosed with cancer myself. They found over a dozen tumors in both my kidneys, and I had 2 partial nephrectomies, both kidneys, and I am blessed to say that I still have both, and that it was a horrible year of healing and being in a coma, almost dying, and literally learning to walk again, that kind of a year. And as a result, on the other side of it, I'm a different person. All those things that I thought, we all have those balls in the air, and we think, okay, well, I need to do this and I need to do that. And the word need, it's not like, you don't think, well, these are extras. These are just things I do. And you think that you're running these things. And if I don't, who will? And all of that stuff that just seems so important as a mother, as a, as an employee, as a business owner, as, the president of all these clubs, you think that you have to. Well, the minute that you're not there, someone else has to.
Yeah.
And that was probably the biggest lesson that I learned, that, I couldn't do, therefore I didn't do. And that is how I learned to ask for help, because I physically couldn't do. So
Wow.
it changed who I was and where I was going. And it was the major stuff that changed and deepened my life. And while I wouldn't want to go through any of it again, I'm grateful for who I am on the other side of it.
Absolutely. Wow. What do you think was the greatest or biggest, I guess, limiting belief that you kind of had to shake off yourself as you've been, overcoming some of these challenges?
The not enough. I'm not enough. Like the feeling, the inherent feeling of, to the world, I would portray that confidence. But honestly, for me, who was I, this kid that went to East Boston High School, inner city Boston? Who was I to write a book? Who was I to do all these things? Who was I to, and you fill in the blank? And I was doing plenty of things that were, and I was helping plenty of people, but there was still that insecurity of not enoughness. Like, who was I to do these things? Even as a minister now, who am I to lead these people this way? And today I realize who I am is a child of divine, that I was created of the one. And you know what? Here I am, that, literally I am stardust wrapped in skin, as each one is no better or worse qualified than anyone else, doing the best I can just for today. And just that is enough. Just that is enough. It doesn't need to be more than that. I'm not supposed to be like anyone else.
Absolutely. When you think about, some of the challenges that other people go through and the thought process of not being enough, it's easy for them to sit here and listen. Like, okay, Gina, got it. I'm enough. Yeah. Okay. I'm enough. What is the actions that you took through your journey to finally start to recognize that you're enough? Like, what should somebody be doing? Because, yeah, you can say it and be like, meh,
It's not a
but like,
doing, it's a
what are some of
being.
the things we should be doing?
It's not a doing, it's a being.
A being.
Life
Okay.
is lived from the inside out. Who I am is not what I do. Who I am makes me enough. What I do distracts me from truth.
But how do you change the mindset?
It's not. It's looking in and knowing yourself. And I'm not saying that in a light way. It took years of being with me, learning who I was. It took years of spiritual, study. And I don't mean, I'm not talking religion, and I want to be very clear that religion and spirituality are two different things. Whatever it is you believe, bless you for it. And, the truth is, my spirituality was my life raft. It has saved me and given me a chance when I had no chance. It is how I knew there was never a question I was going to get better. Never a question. I couldn't walk, but yet I knew there wasn't a question in my mind. No matter what, there's something that I lean into, that is spirit, and it carries me when I can't. There's always something on my side that is there to help me. And knowing that just as a child knows that its parents is there for it for me, that is where the enough begins. That's what makes me worthy. I used to get my worth, and that's how I felt my worth. When I did for you and you were happy for me, then I could be happy. When I accomplished this, whatever event it was, and it went off well, then I could be happy. I had Thanksgiving in my house yesterday and everybody was fed and took home food. Then I could be happy. I started most of my life living that way. And today I realize it has nothing to do with that stuff. Who I am, and I as a life coach, especially, that's what I, really work with people on. Who you are is not what you do in life. It's who you are. It's why your best friend is your best friend. It is why people love and care for you and lean on you. Who you are is what matters. And that's how we begin to feel enough. It's not a soundbite. And unfortunately, we live in this social media, and don't get me wrong, I love the platform. I have podcasts myself, and I love that we get the opportunity to speak to people on a different way. And some will resonate with us, some will not, and it's okay. But you have to know who you are. It's not about sound bites. It's about being, not doing. It's being able to be still. It took me, and I mean this, years to learn how to meditate in any way. 3 minutes with an egg timer was excruciating for me. When you grew up inner city and there was all this chaos and noise around you, you didn't know how to be yourself. You didn't know who that was. It was who everybody else told you to be. Part of recovery in any way from anything is realizing, okay, that was. Now, what needs to be for me to be the perfect, whole, complete person that I really am?
When you say who you are, so step into who you are. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I think that's what you said.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Are you loving, kind, compassionate? When someone looks in your eyes, what do they see? If I asked your best friend, who is this person? What would they tell me about you? If you have a partner, what would they tell me about you? Who you are is how you treat people. It's not the job you do, but how you do it. It's your character. It is your compassion. It may be your purpose. You are here to shine light and give inspiration. You give a platform to give for people like me to use my voice to help others find their voice. Well, that voice is who you are. And everybody has that within them, but not everybody knows how to get there. So who you are, you may not even know yet. You know how many people I've worked with that didn't even know what they liked to eat because they were so used to preparing meals for their family? Didn't know what they loved anymore because they went along with what everybody else said? A lot of people don't even know anymore. They have influencers who tell them who they should like. What do you like? What are you here for? And that is not something that you can answer quickly. That's something you want to sit with. Who do I choose to be? How do I show up? And what does that feel like? Because it feels like coming home. When you're really yourself and you really can show up in a room full of people that know you and honor you as yourself, it is the most breathtaking thing. I had that experience actually 2 weeks ago. I was recently licensed as a minister, and there's a long track. And I went back home to I have my own center now, but I went back to the center that I came through, and it was just I felt home. They know me, and in their eyes, I saw me, the love. I wish that for everyone, that everyone feels that landing space and honor.
Yeah. What if someone doesn't like who they are?
That's something that, to me, you work with. That's not a quick answer. That's when you find someone who helps you, first of all, recognize who you are. Because if you're not liking who you are, Partly usually because you don't like how you're living. It's not that you don't like you don't like how you fit into the world other people created for you. Are you living in your life, or are you living the roles that other people gave you and it doesn't feel comfortable anymore? So all that is a catalyst to grow. If you don't like, and there are plenty of people that they don't have hope, they don't feel, you may simply be in the roles everyone else is trying to put on you. So let's create the life you want, not the one that was given to you or expected of you or you think is expected of you, but what you're here to do, be. You don't have to change anything. You do not need to change where you live. You don't need to change anything but how you view it. Perspective is your eyes.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with out there, it's in here. There is something within us, that soul within us, that comes alive when we see a baby laugh. It comes alive when we see a sunset or a sunrise. There's something in the magnificence of beauty, it comes alive. Well, let's live from that space. And I'm not saying that's easy, because you turn on the news and there's a lot happening and there's a lot in everyday life, but it is possible to live from that space.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's not a quick fix. You don't just get there. You know what I mean? Well, what if you don't? Okay, so work with me. Okay, let's talk about that. What does that feel like? What is it that, where do you want to be? Where are you and where do you want to go? That's what, to me, life coaching is. It's very different than counseling. Counseling is what happened. Okay, and you're going to talk about what happened. I just want to know, where do you want to be? Now, part of that, where do you want to be as a life coach, is you may have to go back and look at some of that stuff so that it doesn't poison your future. But
Yeah.
in truth, a life coach and a counselor are two completely different things.
Yeah.
I
I
want to
like
know, where do you want to be?
Yeah, I like that you're saying that, because I think there's a lot of individuals that get those confused. They kind of put them in the same category, and they're so not the same category. I'm coaching a few therapists right now, and just the changing of, how they go into each session has to completely change. More of action based versus listening skills. So I want to ask, when you think back of, the challenges, the struggles that you've gone through in your life, the ups and the downs, what would you say is the number one lesson that you've learned through your life?
One of the things is that I've learned, lessons are really opportunities. It's how we look at everything really creates what they are in our lives. So I think for me, my language, your words have power.
Mhm.
It really is the truth. Change your thinking, change your life. Well, your words are they're seeds. Every
Yeah.
word you say. For me, that I don't need to be anything to be loved. I was born loved. I believe that I was created just as each person was created, as stardust, as this infinite potential. Every baby, I don't know about you, but any baby I've ever held that I love, whether it's children or your nieces, your nephews, anybody, you look at this infant with this absolute knowing that they can do anything. They have infinite power.
Mhm.
You look at them and you think they could be, an astronaut, they could be a doctor, they could be anything they choose. Infinite potential. You're born with that. You don't have to become that. There aren't hurdles. This isn't a race. You already have it. You're that acorn that has that oak within it. You were born mighty. You don't have to prove it to anyone, especially to yourself. You have to be it, not prove it. Being is still. Doing and being are two different things. And I would say that was my biggest lesson, is I spent most of my life in the doing. And really now I'm focusing on the being. being who I choose, living in that place from the beingness of the witness rather than forcing or chasing.
For those listening and are resonating with what you're saying, can you give a little more context to doing versus being? What does that mean exactly?
I I was raised that there's a lot of you just do. You go to work, you do this. If there's clubs, if there's this activities, wherever the kids need to get to, you get to. You go, you go, you go, you go. We ran. It was chaos. I didn't know how to say no. So if there was a club, I was usually the one running it. Because if you're good at it, people will let you do the work. So if there was, at one point I was president of two Toastmasters club, while a mentor to a third. I mean, I would be running things, not just I wasn't a participant. I was the overachiever, and I thought that's how I felt work. Look at all I can do, and it ended up getting me sick because I didn't know how to take care of me. I took care of everyone else because that was the roles. I was the caretaker. I was raised as. It
Yeah.
was what I was supposed to do. That's a doer. That's a human doing. Our society is human doing. To me, if you're out racing out buying every gift under the sun after a day of giving thanks, my perspective on it is very different. I don't have to do today. I did yesterday. I took care of family. I enjoyed people, and now I can be.
Yeah.
So it's where your perspective is. Being is really appreciating the time of not having to do. And if I don't do, it's okay. I don't have to feel guilty. And I still do have that feelings of because the old me is still here. This doesn't go away. But it's okay to spend a day watching the Hallmark Channel and vegging out and watching cheesy movies. It's okay to not do, to simply be. And it doesn't make me less worthy because that baby couldn't be less worthy. You
Yeah.
don't change just because you got older. You're just as important as you ever were. That acorn isn't less of an acorn because it doesn't run around. It still has all that power. You have that infinite beauty. So just be with it, understand it. And when you take action from a place of being, so much more happens instead of just doing, doing, doing. One of the toughest things for me to hear from a client is same crap, different day. Because if you're experiencing that, then you're living on that treadmill of life. And nothing's changing because you're not changing. And you're not happy, clearly. So you have to do something different to get something different. It's not doing more. See, that's what I didn't understand. Well, if I can do this and then I can do that and I can do that, it's doing the right things, not just doing more. And it's saying no to what's not yours to do. I never knew that such a thing existed. I thought if I could help you, I should. Isn't that how it works? But the truth is, no, not everything is mine to do. Just because I can doesn't mean it's mine,
Yeah.
doesn't mean I should. First of all, I'm taking it away from you, which is yours to do. But also, I can do a lot of things, but I can't do them all at the same time. And I'm not going to do them well. And something's going to give. And what gave was me.
Yeah. Um, if you could wish for anything, what would you wish for?
Peace on earth and and goodwill towards men and women, animals, and the planet itself. So peace in every form. And I don't care how Pollyanna it may sound. I don't care how it is possible. I truly believe it is possible because inherently, I believe people are good.
What about the concept of us needing challenges in order to blossom into our brilliant selves?
I appreciate everything I've walked through. I wouldn't choose any one of them again. I love the screaming that said, the The cracks are where the light comes through. You know, I get that and I appreciate it. I guess I don't know that we need to struggle. I think the more we fight who we really are, the more we have that struggle. I think the more we're being, the less there's struggle. The universe is here to supply for us in amazing ways. But when I think I have to do it my way, I will struggle. I will fight. Think about teenagers. Everything's a fight because they think everything has to be a fight. There's that struggle. Anyone that has teenagers knows that they need to do it their way. Okay, do it your way. The more we fight, the more there's struggle. The more we witness and allow people to be who they are. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean people can walk on you. You know what? I don't need to be around people that aren't for me. It's just that simple. Show me who you are and I'll believe you. You know, and that's where but we can witness more than struggle. But I do think that things come up in our lives because without them, there'd be no change. Sometimes, even I mean, I'm blessed. My marriage is like the greatest gift I've been given. My husband's amazing. I mean, in every way, I'm just blessed. Not perfect, nobody is, neither am I, but I'm blessed. But marriages do fail sometimes so that better can come. I'm his second marriage. His first had to break for me to find him. And it made it that much better, and he appreciates me that much more. So even in that, sometimes things happen. But that doesn't mean there was anything wrong. It was right at the moment. So we have to be I think I wish people, especially women, could be more loving to themselves. Simply understanding that this was the path. It's not about right or wrong. It's simply about what is. So now what?
Yeah. What would you say to females who are struggling with being stuck?
Sometimes we're in the hallway. Sometimes there's an open door, and sometimes we were in that door and we were great, and then something happens and we're in the hallway of life. And it feels that way. And you're looking for a window and you're looking for a door. You may be trying to kick them down, but the ones you force end up being the wrong ones. Anything meant to you will come to you. And in the moment where we feel stuck, and I've had many times in my life that I was physically couldn't do either. When we feel stuck, that's when spirituality really is important. It's understanding you are not alone in the universe. There is something more. You can call it the beauty of nature. You can call it the cosmos. You can call it energy itself. There is something twirling around in the atoms. There's something more than. Find something greater than just you. And be where you are, as uncomfortable as it may be, because until you learn the lesson where you are, you don't move in the right direction. Sometimes the best thing we can be is uncomfortable because that's what makes us change. The butterfly was gook before it took flight. The caterpillar crawled and fought and crawled and crawled, and then it became gook, and then it took flight. I actually have a poem on that. I have a poem called "The Butterfly." If you'd like to, would you like to hear it? May I indulge
Yeah.
in a poem? The butterfly. Scared and confused, wrong place, wrong time. I look in the mirror, not comprehending what I find. I know I am more than what they see, but uncertain why I hold back the best within me. What if I fail? What will they think? Who am I to shine as I feel my heart sink? Not enough money, talent, or beauty. Who am I to try? Especially when my fears are so high. I never fit in, yet afraid to stand out. I've spent my whole life riddled with doubt. Still scared and confused. Ordinary stings worse than the fear. Because I know there's a passion within me, I feel. I know I must change, uncertain what is to come. I begin and work so hard, yet it seems never done. I feel different with each step. Passion transforms clumsy feet into wings. No longer weighed down, my heart soars to new things. I am living my purpose, traded fear for faith. Now the world sees my beauty, yet still the same face. We all have fears, doubts, and habits to break, but trust that still small voice more than the echo, and truth will transform your passion to faith.
That's beautiful. Who wrote that?
It was mine.
I love it. I was going to
It's
assume,
mine.
but I didn't want to assume.
Yes, it was my. It's mine.
That's beautiful. How long ago did you write that?
Oh, that's my first poetry book. So I would say about 6, 7 years ago. Well, no, more than that. I have another one that's due to come out in the next couple of months. But that's Sole Purpose. It's on Amazon.
That's fantastic.
That's in, yeah, Sole Purpose. And
Great.
I'd never read poetry. I'd never written. I had no idea. I was in Sunday service one day and it was quiet meditation time, and one came out whole, completely
Wow.
like as if I dictated it, just like someone was, I just dictated it. And the next week it happened again and again and again. So, it just downloads. Spirit just gives me whatever's meant to be, and I'm grateful.
That's awesome. What a beautiful gift.
Thank you.
Wow.
But trust
What
the
would
muck. Trust the
yeah,
muck.
yeah, yeah. What would you what's some advice you'd give to individuals who are in the middle of a challenge?
Trust that
Maybe
it
coming out
will.
of the end, maybe coming out of the end of a challenge. And they're having
Mhm.
trouble finding the lesson. How do you find the lesson?
Hindsight. So keep moving. In the moment, you're not going to feel it. When you're still feeling the sting, you're not going to see the why. When you're still feeling the sting, you will not feel the why.
So how long? Because I'm imagining myself. I'm imagining
I've been
myself
there. I have been
coming
there, and
out.
I get pissy sometimes. I am impatient. I am someone that wants what they want when I want it, and I get bratty. And it's true. And I've talked to, I was in the hallway for years, and it takes what it takes. It takes what it takes. Thank you for the compliment, Simone. I appreciate it. I it comes out in different ways. Have a tribe. That's the most important thing you can give yourself, is the right people. If you do not have people around you that love you and will raise you up, go find them. Go find them.
Yeah.
You don't give them everything. You don't trust everybody the minute you meet them. Don't get me wrong. But it is so important that you realize we are meant to come go through life together.
Yeah.
Whatever you love to do, find people like that. I don't care if you love riding horses, then go hang out with people that love riding horses. If you're an artist, hang out with people that draw. Find your peeps. It is the
Yeah.
most important gift because you hold each other up through those dark times. And the most important thing is that they shine you back at you.
Beautiful.
So when you're not feeling like you're shining, they radiate and they tell you who you really are.
Yeah.
They help you remember so you can stay on your feet and not fall into. But the most important thing is that you're honest. If you need it, ask for help. It's the best gift you can give yourself. Whether it's a life coach, whether it's a health coach, whether it's a singing coach, because it's what you've always wanted to do. Find your passion. You don't have to be good at it for it to be your passion. What do you love? Then do it. Life is meant to be joy. It doesn't mean it's always easy and it's always joyful, but you can find joy in any given moment you look for it.
Yeah.
I have a bubble gun. I bought a bubble gun this like a couple months ago, and it literally is one of those things that it blows like a million. Like you hit the button, and there's like hundreds of bubbles instantly. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. I mean, you can't watch this thing go and not smile. I mean, I played with it in my living room for about a month before I realized, okay, the floor is sudsy. Enough as it is. Like, it was ridiculous. But I didn't care. I would show people online. I was like, look at this. And I'd send them to people. Okay. I literally bought them. I bought them on Amazon. I'd send them to people directly to their houses. Because you cannot not be happy blowing bubbles.
I love it.
So, what makes you happy? Like, it makes me happy thinking of other people playing with it. Like, look at you
Yeah,
smiling. Maybe people think I'm a
totally.
fool. I don't care. I'm a happy one. How are
Yeah.
you? Anyone that's going to judge me for being happy usually isn't.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't, what you think of me is none of my business.
Yeah.
What I think of me is my business.
Hmm. Definitely. I want to take a moment to acknowledge those that are watching live. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with us while Gina shares some amazing inspiration and some of her journey. For those of you watching on the replay, if you could hashtag replay so that we know where you are watching us at and we can send you some love. But I want to ask Gina more about what you do now, the business that you run, how you help all the humans.
I do have my own business, which is Believe in You Today. You can reach me. It's Gina at believeInyoutoday.com. You can email me. And it's, again, Gina at believeInyoutoday.com. Or I'm also a minister at Centers for Spiritual Living. I'm blessed to be the spiritual leader of Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Boston. And we are virtual as well as in person. Uh, it's a gift. It's a wonderful community. Spiritual community is very different from it's not. I was raised in a religion. We're really not. We're a spiritual community. It's a very different thing. And I'm nothing against whatever your belief is, whatever your faith, whatever works for you, wonderful. But find something that works. But for me, I do 2 podcasts a week. I do a Peace Circle on Monday nights. It's New Thought Media Network. You can find us on, well, you can look me up, or you can find New Thought Media Network on Facebook or YouTube. A ton of positive, wonderful shows. And I do the Peace Circle and Finding the Joy in the Journey. The Peace Circle is on Monday night, 6 to 7. There's a lot of people that say, well, I'd love to have more peace in our lives. It's a soundbite. Who wouldn't want that? How do you get there? And that hour is literally, how do I become more peaceful within myself, within my family and my friends, within my community and within the world? How do I be the change I wish to see in the world? Because I don't just want it on the outside. It's nice to say, well, I want more peace. I'd love world peace. Everybody wants that. How do I get it? So on 6 to 7 on Monday nights, we talk about becoming that peace, being more peaceful.
Yeah.
And on Thursdays, it's finding the joy in the journey. And my book, one of the books is Your Journey to Happiness that I wrote. And it's a 10-step guide to getting to joy. But finding the joy in the journey is about not being in the destination. Well, when I have this, then I'll be happy. And that's the show you were on with me last month. So we actually beginning of this month, I think. So people can look it up. They can look up your name and my name together and see your wonderful episode. And you're doing amazing things, and it's about finding people and what brings them joy, because the more joy we talk about, maybe that's something that can bring other people joy. It's important that people look for what you want. Look for the people that have what you want. And that's what you pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's not about, it's not about the fanciest clothes or the best vacation. What is it? What matters? What matters is the stuff on the inside. Because, if I could give you $1 million or the cure for your child, you'd take the cure.
Yeah.
If I could give you $1 million, or I could tell you you'd have an extra 10 years with your parents on this planet, which would you choose?
Mm-hmm.
Now, both my parents, my grandparents, my only sibling, they're no longer here. There's so much that's more important than the stuff. I'd give anything to have had them around the table again yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's appreciating what you have while you have it and not being distracted along the way. So I gave a long, in the midst of it all, but I do my show, I did my 2 shows. I do a daily instant inspiration. I have a daily email that is just a picture with a quick line. So if you want an instant inspiration, it's free. You just email me and I will put you on my list. And it is just that. It's instant inspiration. It's just a happy picture, a happy thought for the day. It takes a second to read and makes you smile. And I've done that for about 10 years now. My books, I do workshops, I do trainings, but however I can bring light into the world. My personal mission statement is to shine my light so brightly it reminds others of their own.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Where can people find you, those that are resonating with you? Where are you on social media? Where you hang out?
I'm on Facebook. You can look me up on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to think where else. You can email me and I can put you on my daily email. Is the best place to follow me, I would say, would definitely be Facebook. Anything that I do would be through that. And it's believeInYouToday.com is my website, but just Gina, email me, Gina at Believe in You Today. And you can also follow CSL Greater Boston, because I'm on there posting every day. I probably post more on there than I do even my own. So that's CSL Greater Boston on Facebook or Instagram as well.
Perfect. What are your big dreams for your community?
I think everybody has a ministry. I believe every person has their own ministry. Whether you love animals, whether you love children, whether you appreciate nature, everyone has a ministry. We all have a purpose. And I want to live that purpose and follow Spirit's call for me. I don't know what that'll be yet. I know there's steps along the way, and I do. And I'm like, really? Okay. Never plan to be a minister. I can assure you of that. And, wherever it is, I'm going. Here we go. It'll be fun. And for CSL Greater Boston, what we see is a community center, not a center that also serves the community, but a community center that also has Sunday service and also other things. On Thursday nights, online only, we do Sacred Circle at 7, and that's East Coast time, of course, because that's where I am here, and I live in Rhode Island. But it's called Sacred Circle at 7, and it's just spiritual conversation. People from all walks of life, people from all over the world, and we do have people from all over the world. You can look it up at CSL Greater Boston on Facebook, and there's always the link. But it is an hour-long spiritual conversation with different spiritual leaders every week. And I love that. I love offering things like that to the world, bringing people together for that sense of. And I know, New Thought, which is what Science of Mind and Centers for Spiritual Living falls under, it's a very different way it's a spiritual connection. And it's Science of Mind, and there's not a lot of it up in the Northeast. So I look forward to helping that grow and get the word out there that there's a very loving spirit that you can connect with very easily if you allow it. You are love. You are that divine right here and right now. It lives, breathes, and has its being as you. Because a heart on the table doesn't beat. A brain on a table doesn't think. There is something that makes you alive. And that to me is what spirit is. That's consciousness. That is divine. Whatever you call that magnificent life itself, that's what I talk about. And when you realize that, yes, you are that power, anything is possible. When you live from that place that that life is within you, anything is possible.
Beautiful. Why do you do what you do?
It makes me so happy to see people happy. It makes me so happy to see people when they realize who they really are, when they find and recognize that potential that they are. You know, whatever anyone might see in me, it's only because they only see it because it is them. You're witnessing the reflection. Each person you look at is a reflection of when it's something you like or not like. Unfortunately, you wouldn't recognize it if it wasn't something within you. So
Yeah.
it's a gift. It's a gift to work with people. It is a gift to see them get it, to see demonstrations in their life. It is a gift for people to realize they're worth it. It is a gift when they realize that there is a love that is within them and all around them that is for them. It's a gift. So, how it's unfolded has been, I'm spiritually directed. I try to pay attention. That's all I can say. I'm like, really? Okay, here we go. And I'm like, you got this because I don't. And then your hands are off the wheel, you're driving. And that's how I feel sometimes. It's an adventure, and I'm grateful. I am grateful. The more I can get myself out of the way, the more wonderful things happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Crazy
it's
how that happens.
it's important that we realize that we're enough now.
Yeah.
There is no destination. You're here now. This is the party. You will never have the people that you have in your life right here, right now. They will never all be around. You will never have the circumstances, the youth, the whatever it is that you have in your life, it'll never be just like this again. Now, for some people, they're thinking, thank God. And other people, you don't realize what you have until it's not there anymore. May you realize it before you lose it. So, awareness is huge. It's we're here for joy. We're not here to accumulate stuff. Happiness and joy are not the same things. You can buy things that make you happy. Joy is inherent. It is always within you, or you wouldn't smile when a child smiles. It's always there. You
Yeah.
can't, it may be covered like a cloud covers the sun, but it is always there.
Absolutely. That's a good analogy there. Well, Gina, I so appreciate you hanging out and sharing some of your awesomeness with us today. Do you have any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
As we head into the holiday season, whatever it is you do or do not celebrate, I invite you to remember there are plenty of people that are not happy. I love the holidays, everything about them. I love the lights. I love the cards. I love the little stuffed animals. I love it all. I am a big kid, as you can see. I love it all. And there's a lot of people that aren't around anymore. So there's a mix of emotions. And I encourage people to honor people in every way. When you're driving and someone cuts you off, you don't know what they're going through. When you're at the grocery store, smile just because you can. When you're living your life, be kinder than you think is necessary. It makes a difference. There are a lot of people that are suffering. And if you're one of them, please reach out. Email me, call, do whatever you need to do. Reach out. There are people that are here that truly want to help you, and know that you're worth it. You're worth it. And also they are too. So try to be mindful. Ask friends, what are you doing for the holidays? And invite them over. How do you celebrate? And if they're not celebrating, don't make them. Don't force anyone to feel anything that they're not. It's okay not to be okay until it's not anymore. And then it becomes depression.
Yeah.
So don't stay too long. You want a day watching, whatever Christmas specials on the TV, great. But if it turns into a month, find someone. You don't have to be in this world alone. It's not meant to be a plight. It's
Yeah.
joy. And if you're not experiencing that, then get some help so that it is.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I
Absolutely.
love you. I may not know you, but I love you because I believe we are all one. So I can't not love you. It doesn't matter what you do, who you are love. You can't really see it, but I have it right in the corner over there, my pillows. You
Yes.
know that you're loved.
Yeah.
I don't have to know you to know that you are perfect. You're exactly who you're meant to be right now. You're not lost. You're not missing anything. And if you're in the hallway, just keep walking.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love how your analogy with the hallway. It seems so much less catastrophic than like the darkness or something. Because I usually say
Oh,
the
I've
dark. I
I've
like
felt
the
like I was in a hole for a
you're
long
kind
time.
of like connected to you just going to another room, you know? You just have to keep
Sometimes
walking.
it's longer than others. Decorate it while you're there.
Oh, I love that.
Make it comfy. Honor yourself along the way. Read a good book. Watch a good movie. Find some arts and crafts. I took up jewelry making. Do what you need to do while you're there. Decorate it and honor it until you get to what's next. There's always a next. As
Yeah.
long as you keep walking and you keep living, just live. It'll find you. As long as you're not in resistance.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I so appreciate you. I so appreciate the time that you've
Thank
given to us today. Um,
It's a pleasure.
amazing, amazing insight on so many areas of our life that we definitely all need some reminders on. And thank you for the takeaway on the holidays because those are right around they're here. They're here. So I appreciate that too. For those of you watching live, thank you for being here. For those of you watching on the replay, like I said, make sure you hashtag replay so that we know where you were watching us at and we can send you some love. If you resonated with all the goodness that Gina shared today, make sure to check her out at believeInYouToday.com. What was the other website?
It's actually Facebook is the best place to find
Oh,
me. But
Facebook. Okay.
absolutely reach me out. Friend me on Facebook, or it's CSL Greater Boston.
Beautiful.
CSL Greater Boston.
I love it. Thank you. We love connecting people here on this platform in order to make sure that we all continue to rise. Thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of Her Version. This community is expanding every single day and is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you subscribe. If you have an amazing story to share, be sure to reach out to me here or at hernation.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others.